Welcome to our presentation. In this analysis, we will choose a low-risk region for the new automotive AG company's expansion, taking into account risk factors from the country perspective and the growth forecast. However, it's important to keep in mind the aspirations of the automotive company, which is to become a leader in innovation and technology. Analyzing the economic, socio-political, and the growth forecast, we have that Asia has a high average GDP growth in comparison to Africa and South America. Even though Asia is the region with the lowest general market share, it's important to remark that countries such as China and India have a high population density, which represents an opportunity. The GDP growth can influence also the rise of the middle class. In terms of region, South America is a high-risk area. Chile is the country with the lowest risk, but Argentina is a risky place with negative features such as efficiency, employing workers, property rights, and adoption of technology. On the other hand, Colombia and Brazil have some issues related to the cost of business, violence, no tariff barriers, which will make it difficult to export part of our production abroad. The African area has some problems related to violence, telecommunications infrastructure, and political stability of the region. In the third place, Asia complies perfectly with the company's aspirations. In this area, Malaysia performs really well, especially in areas that can help the company's commitments. This region has an appropriate investment environment and will be easy to trade across borders. Has a good performance in the indicators related to FDI, infrastructure, and R&D.
As you answered in question 1 that Asia is the best region for Newton Automotive AG to invest in, now we'll analyze the main risk associated with this region that should be taken into account. First risk that has the highest value on Zurich risk room wall is business cost of terrorism. Such a risk can be mitigated by implementing physical security and personnel measures to reduce exposure to attack and also by ensuring the property. Other two risks related to the region, one with a high value and second one with a medium overall value, are non-tariff barriers to trade and trading across borders. From our point of view, a strategy for mitigation for both of these risks can be to focus more on buying and selling local. This strategy can be seen as a two-way solutions. One is to avoid trade risk, another one is to increase companies' market share in that region. Political violence also has a high level of risk occurrence in Asia. Such a risk can be avoided through buying political risk insurance from different private companies, or even some government organization can offer such a product. Finally, we consider that corruption and business impact of rules on FDI are risks with a medium level, but which can have a negative impact on Newton Automotive's activities. Actions that should be taken into account to avoid this are to verify the track record for corruption of outsourcing providers, local agents, distributors, or intermediaries. To avoid the risk of impact of business rules on FDI, analyzed companies should take into consideration creation of a joint venture.
By mitigating these risks and conducting what-if analysis, we're able to see the impact on each country but also in the overall Asia region. We decided to lower the major high-risk sliders on the walls to medium level and upper medium level risk to lower medium level risk. As a result, the average risk exposure for both business, technology and infrastructure and economic and socio-political of the Asia region decreased from 0.4 to 0.38. It is also visible on the risk floor, where the position of the countries has moved down closer to nirvana, which indicates lower risk. That is, we see that Asia has become less risky and a safer region for investments.
The areas of due diligence which should concern the enterprise who wants to enhance operations in emerging markets are the first and foremost being the local resources like labor and its skills, for example, the brain drain percentage of the region, the availability of raw material and other inputs. Secondly, the cultural and language barriers. For example, a large percentage of the population in Asia speaks English as a second or third language. Thirdly, the instability of the political and social environment can prove to be a risk for the business to run in the country. Next, the areas of legal and regulatory environment should be feasible. the risk of environmental disasters and the possible litigation that follows, and the overall evolution of digital technologies and the laws governing it. Next, today the Chinese market consists of high competition, high market fragmentation, more regulatory pressure on pollution and the fuel efficiency laws. Connected car is another big risk that the automotive industry faces because of the increased competition and also the risk of security, powertrain risks and its regulation, and lastly the globalized market and its consolidation.